What's good, yet your boy, like your boys, back like a Bevner Parenthesis, a Bushkin back now, and welcome back to one to Spooky Scary Friday. Now, I know today is not Friday, and I know I did miss Spooky Scary Friday, and I do apologize. But we back to Spooky Scary Friday. The reason I was not doing that on Spooky Scary Fridays is because the should be too scary. If I'm saying it's based off real stories that actually happen, so it's really scary for me. If I'm saying I I can't get bad dreams of it. You know what I'm saying? Step things like that. So that's why I have to back off a little bit. Don't watch the minute Spooky Scary Fridays. That's why we didn't do Spooky Scary Fridays for a half minute. We'll be back at it like a bad habit. You don't know what it is. If you don't know what Spooky Scary Friday is one of those days our guys are coming to all come together and react to spooky, scary, animated videos sent by you guys. Or sometimes I pick videos and we react to them on Spooky Scary Friday. Not the focus, not the drinks. And let's get into it, y'all boys. Today we're gonna react to one and only 3 true winter horror stories animated by IMR Scary Trails. I know the intro was kind of fast. That's what we're gonna do, if I'm saying, because I'm not trying to like waste a lot of time. I'm trying to get the intro quick. So smash the like button if you want more Spooky Scary Fridays. You know what to do. And if you want me to react to any of y'all suggested Spooky Scary animated videos or Spooky Scary Friday, y'all can drop them in the description in the comments. You can drop the video links or the names of the videos, and I'll react to them on Spooky Scary Friday. So the original video is gonna be in the description, y'all. The like goal is there's no like goal. If you can get 2 likes, that would be amazing. If I'm saying, I think we can do that. And let's get into it, y'all. Story 1. I'm
I've
excited.
always liked winter mornings. Something
Yup.
about the way the cold air bites at your skin feels refreshing. It clears your head like nothing else.
Yeah.
I usually jogged early, before the sun rose, when the streets were empty and the
I'm
world
not gonna
felt
lie.
like mine.
I do like those cold as like when I like snow, bro. Like back when I'm from, there was a lot of snow. When I moved to the USA, there's no snow, dog. Like there, you have to walk like you have to drive some place to get snow, or they bring snow sometimes with the cars. It's like it's difficult. If I'm saying so. Yeah, but I like snow. You fight with the snow thing. You can slide and things of that nature. Pause. And let's get. I'm gonna continue. I'm continuing. My bad, yeah. My bad.
Alone. That morning wasn't any different. At least that's what I thought
Hold up, hold up. We gotta check the sound. Check the sound. No, it's good. It's good.
when I laced up my sneakers and
Yup.
stepped out the door. The
Okay.
air was biting cold.
King Cap. I don't understand why people go out at night, usually, and they start to jog on snow. Like that's just not safe, bro. That's not safe. Like you can break your back, literally. Pause. You can like literally hurt yourself. So that's a stupid ass idea. Go out when it's winter.
Clinging fog.
It is winter.
Dimly lit street. The street lights flickered every now and then, casting faint pools of light that barely cut through the haze. But I didn't mind. The silence was peaceful. The world was still asleep, and I liked it that way. I started my run, feeling the rhythmic thud of my feet against the pavement. My breath came out in little clouds, puffing in front of me like smoke signals. Everything felt so serene. Empty streets, quiet houses, just me, the cold, and the fog. After about 10 minutes, I reached the park.
Ooh.
It's usually busy during the day, but now it was deserted, not a soul in sight.
That's amazing.
I figured I'd do 3 laps around it and head home before the
Yeah.
chill.
Can I check the sound really quick? Let's get it, y'all.
The first lap
It been a
was
half
fine,
minute. My bad, y'all. It had a half
halfway through
minute.
the second, I started to feel off. It wasn't immediate, just a creeping sense of unease. Like the air had grown heavier, the silence became more oppressive. I
Okay.
found myself glancing over my shoulder, expecting to see someone there. But every time I looked back, all I saw was the fog.
I'm like,
Thick and
this
impenetrable.
do happen to a lot of people. I understand this. Like, it's like, I don't know what they call this. It's like when you run, you feel like somebody's chasing you. I do feel that when
By the time I started
at
the third
nighttime.
lap, the feeling had only gotten worse. My skin prickled, my
Yep.
heartbeat quickened, and I kept thinking I heard faint footsteps behind me. I'd stop and turn, scanning the park, but there was no one. Just the low groan of trees swaying in the cold wind.
Mm.
Stop hallucinating, Lizzie.
I told myself. Maybe the fog was playing tricks on me.
Maybe.
I was just tired. But deep down, I knew something
But
was
I
wrong.
understand. Okay, now I get why she went. This is my last stop. And I'm gonna react. That's what I do when I react. Gotta stop a lot. So this is my last stop. Listen. So I understand why people go down like start jogging at snow when it's winter time. It's because you don't sweat, because your body cannot generate sweat. It can generate it, but you cannot sweat because it's so cold. It just freezes it. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why they go out at the snow time. So that's really interesting.
I decided to take
Smart.
a break. I plopped myself on one of the benches by the playground to catch my breath.
Yep.
As soon as I sat down, I heard it, rustling, like someone stepping on dry leaves. My pulse spiked, and I shot up, eyes darting around.
Is anyone there?
I called out, my voice sounding small and shaky. No answer. I scanned the area, trying to focus, but the fog was too thick. It was like trying to see through a wall of smoke. And then I heard it.
Oh heck no.
Soft chuckle. The sound cut through the silence, so sharp it made my skin crawl.
Who's there?
My voice was more desperate now, but still no reply. Only the eerie faint laughter, closer this time. And then she stepped out from the fog. A woman, tall and gaunt, her red hair matted and hanging in limp strands around her face. She was wearing a torn white nightgown, stained with crimson, awfully resembling blood.
Well, if you don't skedaddle,
Traced upwards until I met her bloodshot one. Her
Man.
eyes. God, her eyes. They were wide, wild, smeared with mascara like she'd been crying for hours. I froze, unable to move, my breath caught in my throat. The woman's lips curled into a smile, but there was nothing kind about it. It was the kind of smile that sent chills down your spine, the kind of smile that made you want to run. And then I saw her hand. She was clutching something. A finger.
Oh
A
no.
man's severed finger. There was blood dripping from it, staining the snow at her feet, and dangling from the finger was a wedding ring. My stomach turned. I felt bile rise in my throat. I took a step back and stumbled to the ground. A woman let out a hollow laugh.
No shit.
Now he's single.
She said,
Whoa.
shoving the finger in the air. Her tone
Whoa.
was mocking, almost gleeful.
He doesn't have to hide his affair from me anymore.
Before I could even process what she had said, her eyes rolled back into her head, and she collapsed on the ground right beside me. For a moment, I couldn't move, couldn't think. My mind was blank, overwhelmed by a flood of horror. And then somehow, I snapped out of it. My hands fumbled for my phone
What?
as I shakily dialed 911. The cops arrived within minutes, though it felt like hours. They took the woman away, but not before telling me the
So is a real woman? It's not a ghost?
truth. Sophia
What?
was an artist who had killed her husband while he slept. She was somehow
Whoa.
convinced he was having an affair with his secretary.
Oh my god.
Afterwards, she cut off his ring finger and wandered the streets in a daze. I was later told that Sophia was sent to a mental institution. She never spoke a word again after that night. And me? I haven't jogged in the early morning since. Not ever.
Wait, it was morning, not nighttime? Okay, the story too was kind of creepy. Kind of plot twist because I was thinking that's her husband she killed, not her husband, not that, but her husband. You understand what I'm trying to say? But it's she killed her husband, and then what they gotta do with her? That's kind of I don't get it, y'all. I don't kind of get that was spooky, but not that scary. Not gonna lie, bro. Story two, let's get what they got.
It was supposed to be a quiet
I like
getaway.
this. I like
Sophia and
this.
I needed a break from everything.
Yup.
Work, family, the city. So we rented an Airbnb in the woods, a cozy cabin deep in the middle of nowhere.
Man, that'd be
It was
scary.
winter, and the world
Damn.
around us was draped in snow, making it feel like we were completely isolated.
Man, you're going
from
90 an
everything else.
hour.
Exactly what we wanted. We arrived at around sunset. The cabin was adorable, with a creaky wooden
Yeah, that boy was
and
pushing 90.
inside, a stone fireplace already laid out with logs. By the time we unpacked and settled in, it was
Hey,
dark outside.
hey, I see it. I see it. You saw that? That was for the
We opened a
frozen.
bottle of red
Yeah.
wine. After a few glasses, Steven suggested we explore the property. There was supposed to be a small clearing behind the cabin, so we bundled up and trudged out into the cold. We were
Interesting.
tipsy, walking haphazardly and giggling. We soon stumbled upon a small mound, partially hidden in snow, near the edge of the woods. Strange, there was a stone marker, like a headstone of a grave, but there was no name, just a weird symbol. It looked like two interlocking circles, with a serpent twisting between them. Steven knelt down to brush off the snow, laughing. He was always the braver one between us, always
Why?
curious.
It's a grave, right?
Why are you then touching
Maybe
it?
it's someone's pet.
Man, y'all crazy,
I
bro.
don't know, no name. Could be anything. He was drunk, and in his ridiculous state, he unzipped his pants and started peeing.
What a disrespect. What a disrespectful thing that is, dog. Why are you peeing on somebody's grave? Why? I don't get the logic. You're disrespecting the dead. Why are you doing this, bro? These are 3 true horror stories on them, so these are true. Why are you pissing on somebody's grave, bro? Nah, bro, I don't feel sorry for him, bro.
All the while.
Nah, bro.
I swatted at him, telling him he was being disrespectful, but he just
No
waved
shit.
me off, laughing as he finished.
Hex
I felt
no.
uneasy. Something about
Hex
that grave
no.
unsettled me.
I
but was
don't now what happened? What happened? He deserves it. Not gonna lie, bro. Cause you peeing on somebody's grave? Nah, bro, that's crazy, bro. That's
tipsy to
crazy, bro.
process it. So we headed back to the
Nah.
cabin, stumbling
Nah.
and laughing.
Nah.
That night, I woke up to a strange sound. It was like scratching, the kind of sharp, repetitive noise that made my skin crawl. I reached over, but Steven wasn't in bed. My heart
That's
skipped
crazy.
a beat, and I sat up. The scratching, it was coming from outside. I pulled on my coat, my hands trembling.
Bro, I
as
like
opened the
these
door.
animations,
I
bro.
saw Steven standing in the snow, staring out into the woods, motionless. His breath was visible in the air, and I could hear that scratching sound, louder, like nails on stone.
Stefan, what are you doing?
He didn't answer. The scratching grew louder, a horrible grating noise that made me feel like I was losing my mind. It wants to come out. His voice was flat, almost distant, like he was in some kind of trance. I grabbed his arm, trying to shake him out of it.
Come back right now. Something isn't right.
The grave. It wants to come out. He pulled away
What?
from me and ran towards the grave.
Nah,
I
bro.
followed him, the snow stinging my face as I stumbled after him. He dropped to his knees, clawing
Oh,
at the
no.
snow,
You crazy.
his hands bare as he dug into the frozen ground.
Stop it. Stefan, stop.
I tried to pull him away, but he was strong, stronger than I'd ever seen him. His nails were breaking, his fingers red and raw as he
What the
tore at
fuck?
snow like he was possessed. And then I saw it. A fox emerging from the woods. Its eyes glowed in the dark.
No,
an
no, no.
unnatural eerie light that made my stomach twist. It watched us, its gaze fixed on Steven. But when it came out, I was shocked. It wasn't red, but black. Finally, Steven stopped. He looked up at me, his eyes wide and unfocused. I pulled him to his feet
Nah,
and we
bro.
started back towards the cabin, my heart pounding in my chest. As we reached the deck, a deep growl echoed from the direction of the grave, low and guttural. I turned, and there was the fox, sitting atop the mound, its eyes still glowing, its body curled up like it was guarding something, looking at us. Steven collapsed onto the bed, and I watched him until his breathing evened out. His
Nah,
face
bro.
relaxed. I couldn't sleep. I just sat there, staring in the window.
Nah, bro.
The next morning, Steven acted like nothing had happened. He didn't remember a thing. I showed him his hands, expecting the torn nails, the bloody fingertips, but they were fine.
Nah.
Perfectly fine. He laughed it off, said I must have been dreaming, but I knew what I saw. I knew what I heard. We packed up, ready to leave. I wanted to get out of there as fast as possible. Steven was humming to himself as he loaded our bags in the car, completely unfazed. But as he put his hand on the steering wheel, a jolt ran through me. There, just under his wrist,
Oh my
was a
gosh.
small scar, the shape of two interlocking circles,
Oh
with a
nah.
serpent twisting between them. The same symbol from the grave.
Stefan? Where did you get this?
He had no answer.
It's the same symbol as the grave.
What grave?
The one we saw yesterday.
Oh nah,
But
bro.
he just looked confused. When I insisted, he pulled me by my hand and
Man, bro.
took me to the place of the grave. But to my shock, when we reached there was nothing. I felt a chill run through me, a deep, gnawing fear that settled in my bones. I did not care to investigate and pulled Steven to the car, driving away. But I am certain that we disturbed an otherworldly presence that day.
You did. The story too. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it that much. They're not that. That is kind of spooky, but not that scary. If I'm saying so. Unless if they can bring it up with third one, let's see what they got.
The snow had been falling heavily all afternoon, turning the rugged trail into a winding sheet of white.
Okay.
My friend John and I
Oh, I
had been
like this
trekking for
already.
hours.
I like this already.
We were deep in a forest far off the usual hiking routes, a place which was only known for its grim history.
Yup.
An unfortunate accident during Civil War transpired there. A unit of Confederate infantrymen were stationed there when their gunpowder caches caught fire. Many soldiers were blown up and cried in agony for hours before dying. Rumors were that you could still hear their screams in those lands. As the light faded and the sky darkened, we set up camp near a steep cliff. The wind howled through the branches, sounding almost like voices. We didn't say much as we ate, but there was something in the air that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I brushed it off, just nerves, I told myself. This place feels off, doesn't it? I glanced at him, trying to read his face. His voice was flat, but his eyes had the same weary look I'd been feeling all day. Yeah, I admitted. It's like the air's too heavy or something. Could be the altitude, or maybe we're just tired.
Maybe.
We both tried to laugh, but it fell flat. Something wasn't right. As night fell, I found myself staring into the darkness, waiting for... what? I didn't know, but I couldn't shake the feeling that we weren't alone. Eventually, exhaustion took over, and I must have fallen asleep. But sometime in the middle of the night, I woke up with a start. My body jolted awake like someone had shaken me. The tent was freezing, the fire outside had long since died, and John was still snoring softly beside me. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. Not faint, distant ones like before, but deliberate, crunching through the snow right outside the tent. I heard a soft scratching sound, not like an animal. No, this was different.
Oh
Like
nah.
fingers trailing along the side of the tent. I fumbled for my
Man, look,
flashlight.
if you don't got a okay, I'm gonna keep it a style with y'all. If you don't got a gun, knife, or anything like that can protect you, don't go on the woods. I'm being serious. Don't go on the woods if you don't got nothing that you can protect yourself with. But if I'm saying, cause really, it's really dangerous to go outside. It's really dangerous to go outside if you have nothing to protect yourself with. If I'm saying, so that's what I'm trying to say.
The beam shaking as I pointed it at the fabric. Nothing. But the scratching continued as soon as I turned it off. Low.
Man, why my abs are crampy?
Methodical. I didn't dare move. Suddenly, there was a loud thud against the side of the tent, like something or someone had slammed into it. I jumped, my flashlight slipping from my grasp. What the hell was that? John was awake, wide-eyed and pale. Before I could answer, the thudding came again. Harder this time. The entire tent shook. I don't know, I whispered, but we need to get out of here. We grabbed our flashlights and unzipped the tent just enough to peek outside.
Bad idea.
The snow was untouched, pristine, like no one had been there. But the sound, those footsteps, the scratching, it had to be real. I could feel it in my gut. I'm getting creeped out, man. Let's just wait it out. I nodded, even though every instinct screamed to run. A few minutes passed in an uneasy silence. Just as I began to drift off again, I felt the sudden urgent need to pee. I didn't want to go
Oh
outside,
no.
but there was
Yo,
no
this is the
way of
worst thing that
avoiding
can
it.
happen.
I grabbed my flashlight and stepped into the biting cold. I walked just a few steps from the tent, finding a spot behind a tree. Just as I was about to relieve myself, I felt a cold, icy hand on the back of my neck. I froze. It gripped me hard,
That's
pulling
freaky.
me backward. I spun around, the flashlight beam cutting through the night, but there was no one there. The snow behind me was undisturbed, but I knew something strange was there. That's when the beam of my flashlight fell on the ground ahead of me, where there was a massive crevice, partly hidden by the snow. If I had taken just one more step,
Oh,
I
you'll
would
be
have plummeted
cooked,
to my
boy.
death. My breath caught in my throat. I stumbled back to the tent. I didn't want to wake John. I couldn't explain what had just happened. I just crawled into my sleeping bag, trying to calm myself. The next morning, John was pale as a ghost. He wouldn't meet my eyes. I had the weirdest dream last night. I looked at him, my stomach nodding. I was outside the tent, wearing some old soldier's uniform, and I wasn't me. It felt like I was guarding something, or someone. I stared at him, my mouth dry. Before I could say anything, we both heard it, a distant scream of agony from deep
Nah,
within
bro,
the
run, run, run,
trees.
run, run.
We sprang upon our feet and decided to leave the tent behind, preparing to rush away. But just as we emerged out, we saw clear footprints made by heavy boots, emerging from the forest cover and coming towards the face of our tent. We left that place in a hurry. I don't know what it was, but somehow I owe my life to the spirit of some dead Civil War soldier who was probably looking over me.
I'm ending right here. Oh, they got a daily thing too. Okay, listen. I'm ending right here. This was not that scary. I cannot lie if I'm saying this was not that scary. But it was good though. It was good. It was juicy. Not that scary. There's a Diddy one too, but I'm not gonna react to that, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to read that. I'm ending right here, y'all. Hope you enjoyed this. If I'm saying, if you're on more spooky scary Fridays, you know what to do. Smash the goddamn like button, your boys, and subscribe to turn notifications to miss no content, lives or posts. And I'm gonna see you boys in the next one. Peace.